Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Knife Wife podcast. This is Bob Terzuola, and I'm going to be the host today because I have a very special guest. She's my wife, my business manager, and she's the source of my perpetual inspiration, Miss Suz. Hello, Miss Suz. Say
Hi.
hello, everybody.
Hi, Bob. Funny to have you in the pilot seat.
I'm in the power seat. I'm going to be the interviewer, and you're going to be the interviewee.
I am. For some requests of some people. This is why I'm sitting here.
By popular request.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the theme of this podcast is one of the general themes is creative personalities, what they call professional creatives. Can you tell us something about that? What is a professional creative?
Good question. I never used that term for myself until just over a year ago. I didn't know what it was called. I make things, I create things, and I monetize them. A lot of people make and create things in their hobbies. They don't monetize them. They cost them money. And I've been a creative my whole life, from when I was a kid till today. When I was a kid, I used to sell Christmas ornaments I handmade. I'd knock on people's doors and sell them in the neighborhood. And, I'd walk away with, $20 for the day, and I was set, man. And part of becoming what I am, I've always been very creative. I've always made stuff since I was very, very little, is that I worked in my mother's gift shop. And it was my job to set window displays, to put them together, and to set up all the Christmas things, and to do all kinds of display work and window work for her store.
A window dresser.
That was me. And I used to think I'd like to be like Macy's window dresser or something, but I didn't want to live in New York. And so I'm a professional creative. So I've done everything from making soft sculpture to making jewelry. I was an Etsy seller for a while. I was a really top Etsy seller for a while. I've done movie costume design and work, which I love. And then I put my creative brain into gear for your business. And I have to stop saying that. And I kind of blew the lid off it. I did things like set up your social media. And
you dragged me kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
I did.
Yeah.
For those who don't know me that well or know us that well, I got Bob his own forum on a sort of a listserv that used to be on the internet for knife makers and knife enthusiasts. And I got him his own private forum, which was back then, $500. And I stuck a little note with it in his Christmas sock. He didn't talk to me for 3 days when he said, I don't want to be on the computer. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. What am I doing? I said, if you don't do that, you're going to be standing on the curb and everybody's going to be driving right by you. And so, for a guy your age, I think you're doing pretty well. You got a lot of social media, more than I have social media following, but I plan to change that.
Mm-hmm. What other projects have you done?
Oh my gosh, I've in the last few years since I met Bonnie Christine, and I have to thank Bonnie Christine because it was her people and mastermind that launched me into doing some new things and things that were something I wanted to do my whole life.
Mastermind.
What's a mastermind? It sounds like we're taking over the world, but we're not. And it is a bunch of business people who get together and they solve each other's problems. And what they did for me was to sort of draw out what were things that I liked to do or I was interested in. And then one night I was put in front of a surprise visit in front of an audience at a club in Charleston, South Carolina. And I had a 10-minute open mic, and I had nothing prepared. But I got up and I did it, and I did okay. And in the meantime, I decided, well, I'm too old to do open mics at 1:30 in the morning and travel around the country. I'm just too old. And I don't want to do that. I'll take the Netflix special, but I got to work on that hour. Anyway, so they encouraged me to do a podcast, and that's how I started doing this podcast with Bob called TheKnifeWife.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out thinking I would get all couples who were in business or families who were in business together. But I found out that wasn't sustainable, that there might be more out there, and I know that there are, but one part of the couple was shy, and neither Bob nor I are shy. So
That's for
I
sure.
sort of thought, well, everybody's like us, and that wasn't the truth. So anyway, so now we've opened it up to other creatives and entrepreneurs, and it's really fun. We've got comedians coming on, and we've got some actors that we've had on, and we'll have more actors on. I used to work in film, so I know a lot of actors. And then one of the things that I did for Bob that was so important to me was to leave a legacy. And Bob, you had written a book about how to make a folding knife, but I wanted to turn that into a video series. I wanted people to see what you do with your hands, because there aren't many people doing that anymore. You're what I call a dinosaur in the industry. Everyone's using CNC machines. I mean, they still have to sharpen their knives and assemble their knives. I'm not saying they don't touch the knives. And it isn't a magic button that you push on the CNC machine and out comes a knife like the Jetsons. It's not quite there yet, but it might be. I'm waiting for them to start using robots to put their knives together. That will be next. But anyway, so I decided to spearhead A Sharp Life, which is a 12-part video series that we sell on our website. And not only did I learn how to make a knife, I mean, I knew how to make lots of parts of the knife, but I really didn't understand how the lockup worked on a liner lock. But after filming it, and then after looking at 150 hours of raw footage, I know how to do it now.
I'm eternally grateful for all the work you did on that, and for putting me in a position of 2 weeks of filming in a hot shop with a professional film crew and no script. So it was an interesting experience, but it turned out well, especially the way you edited.
Well, thank you. I didn't do all the editing. That was done in Florida by a good friend. Yeah, I had to look at all the footage. Yeah, thank you. And then one of the things I was encouraged to do was start a subscription service. And so we started Shop Talk, in which you teach other people how to make knives. And we invite them into your shop on Wednesdays. They're called the Shop Dragons. And that's just for this year. We're doing it for a year. We're not going to do it longer than that year, because I think you'd like to get back to making knives some more, right?
Right.
And I have other things to do.
You do? What other projects do you have that you're looking at?
I wanted to talk a little bit about what I do for your business even more. I created a team, which we have a producer for the podcast. We have a producer for Shop Talk. We have a graphics gal. And this team does a lot of things, because I can't do it all. I can't do it all. And so I needed help. And, Bob's the guy who says, well, what's it going to cost? What's this going to cost? And I said, don't worry about it. We can do it. And so somewhere in the middle, it gets paid for and done. But that's really not your favorite thing. I do all the social media, which I would like to take a step back from. I would like to take a step back from that at some point. I also had to redo our website, and I didn't create our website. Katie did. But then I had to hire someone, and we had to get our own web host, and we had to get our own paymaster. Because of the world we live in, Bob is on the do not do business with for PayPal and some other things. And so nobody wanted to host a knife maker, even though these are not, battle knives or something that people really are hurting people with. The number one knife, by the way, just FYI, people are stabbed with are kitchen knives, because everybody's got a kitchen knife. So every woman has a kitchen knife, that's for sure. And he says something and off it goes. But one of the things we do home shows. During the pandemic, we were supposed to go to Hawaii to a show, and we couldn't do that. So I took my sort of movie making abilities and dressed you in a Hawaiian skirt and me in a Hawaiian shirt, and you had a grass skirt on, which was kind of funny. And we had big beads on, and I got, stuff from Party City, and, sort of made a set that was sort of, I don't know, Hawaiian looking. And we did our first show because the knives were ready. And we've had other shows. Our last Christmas one, you were Santa Claus. You were dressed as Santa. I was Mrs. Santa. And we had a bunch of people who help us. do the home shows. Adam videotapes it. He does the Instagram Live. And Rick and Debbie are our ticket takers, and they write all everybody's names down, which is a thankless job. So we usually go out to breakfast afterwards. Well, I didn't have time to change my outfits, so I went out to breakfast as Mrs. Santa.
You did.
I did. And
where did we go? We went to my favorite place, which is...
First we went to Mama Cat's. And we got there. Right, it was so busy by the time we got there at 1 o'clock near us. It's our favorite breakfast place, Mom and Pop, Mama Cat's. And they couldn't take us. And I said, you can't even take Mrs. Santa?
Mrs. Santa?
Mrs. Santa? I mean, what? Nope. So what was close? Denny's. And that's Bob's favorite place. He loves Denny's.
Yep.
Susie does not so much. But so we went to Denny's, and I came in, and not only was I welcome, and they got us a table, but everybody wanted to see Mrs. Santa. And of course, I hadn't thought about bringing treats or something for kids because they were all coming up, oh, Mrs. Santa, Mrs. Santa. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I made my way to the bathroom shaking hands and saying Merry Christmas. And I decided I kind of like being Mrs. Santa. So we're going to do that again this year, I believe. I don't know if we'll go out to breakfast in the outfits, but...
You've also been doing some knife deals.
Oh, boy, have I been doing knife deals. I have to thank my brother. My brother was a shopping center developer, and he used to say to me, he drove him crazy that the younger generation, because my brother was your age, that they don't pick up the phone. They text all the time or they email. He said, just pick up the phone and talk to the person. And so, Bob knows when I'm quiet, I'm thinking of something creative. I mean, my creative mind goes 24/7. I keep a notepad in the drawer next to my bed with the pen and pencil in case I think of something. And so I have all these knife deals with all these companies. I hope people don't get tired of Bob, because Bob is going to be everywhere. And we produce them in 5 different countries.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
And hopefully we have a new partner coming out of North Carolina who will produce more American-made knives, because the industry it's hard to get OEM work. What is OEM work, Bob? Tell them what it means.
Other equipment manufacturing. That is, they make the stuff and we sell it.
There we go. That's how you like it. They take the risk, they use all the materials, and they just write you a check.
And I collect the money.
Yeah, that's
my
thing.
business model.
So that's what's going on. We this year for me has been a big change in my direction. I'm a pattern maker. I'm doing my pattern design. I just did some patterns on knives, actually. ProTech Blade HQ has the ones with my traffic pattern. I was very impressed by traffic when we moved to Southern California. And so that was the pattern they chose. But there'll be other patterns on other things. And I was just in Milan hawking my wares to different furniture manufacturers. And I think I have a few bites there. And the kids' clothes patterns for, Band-Aids, all kinds of things. So the pattern licensing things. I'm really good at getting licensing deals, I would say, Bob, right? We license your designs to other people. And so in this process, after being at Bonnie Christine, and thank you, Bonnie Christine, again, I decided to stick my toe in the water of comedy. After that 10 minutes I had, I thought, well, how can I do this? I mean, I had done Second City years ago, and that's a different kind of comedy. That's a group on a stage. But this is me standing there with a microphone, nobody else. Nobody backs me up. I don't get to say smart remarks and somebody says another smart remark. It's just me, and it's a whole different thing. I don't think when I was younger, honestly, I had the courage to do it. I didn't have the... I hated to be on stage. I hated to be in front of a group of people. And now it's like nothing to me. I don't know. I just gave up. At a certain age, I guess you just stop caring. So I guess I call it a late in life crisis. I'm having a late in life crisis, kids. And my kids are holding on to their seats because they don't know what's coming next. I mean, I called my son and told him, hi, I was just signed with an agency for comedy out of the South. And he said, what? He said, well, I know you always like comedy because I love Larry David. He loves Larry David. He loves comedy. As a kid, we watched tons of Seinfeld and stand-up comedians on TV. And now he's coming to visit, I'm going to have a nano knee put in. I'm going to get a new knee, and he's going to come and take care of me after the surgery, or take care of us, help Bob. And I look forward to sitting on the couch and turning him on to a whole bunch of comedians that I watch on YouTube and that. And I think we'll have a good time doing that. I can't really hop around anyway, so might as well watch comedy. That's a great day for me. And so this weekend, I was down in San Diego with a comedy stand-up group, and I call them the San Diego stand-ups. That's not what they're called. And I hope to have some of them on here. And I did about 20 minutes of talking about my life, and I'm not going to be firing jokes. I'm not going to be Stephen Wright. I'm not going to be, there's not going to be a snare drum. It'll be story type of comedies, because I've had a pretty crazy life. And a great life, but a pretty crazy life.
And you've known a bunch of crazy people.
I do. You're one of them, because you have ridden this roller coaster with me of all the things, and you've always been very supportive.
Now I'm hanging on tight for the next episode.
For the next episode. So this year when I go to Blade Show, I will be going to Marietta, Georgia, to visit Honest Fox Media, who I just signed the contract. And we joke that I'm going to tape my special here at the Film Hub. We'll see. I gotta put together a special. So I'm working on crafting. I've got a teacher, and I've got some mentors who are comics who are helping me to economize my words, which our editor is sitting here and he's nodding. Yeah, you could economize your words. But I'm a word person. I'm a talker. So anyway, so that's what's going on here. It's going to be a big change, I think, in our lives. I've always liked to be behind the camera, and now I'm going to be in front of the camera. And here I am.
I've been saying for years you should be in front of the camera, and you always used to say, no. Well,
I got in fights with producers on shows I worked for when they needed an extra rich lady. I'm always the rich lady at the country club. That's what they always wanted me to play. I don't know. I'm not rich. I'm a lady. I spent a lot of time growing up in country clubs. But I would say, no, I don't go in front of the camera. I mean, I have literally almost come to blows with people. And they're saying, I said, you're going to fire me if I don't go in front of the camera? That's not in my contract, is it? No. So that's one of my favorite things, but I'm going to keep this clean. As when I worked in the movies, they would threaten to fire me because I stood up for things, and I stood up for actors, and I did things that maybe a wardrobe girl shouldn't do. But, I can't. That's just in my nature. And one of the producers said, we could fire you for this. And I said, effing fire me. And so my crew gave me mugs that said that on there. They spelled it out, though. And so here I am. Here I go. And that's what's happening, non-Terzuola. Oh, they're going to brand me. What would you brand me as? I don't know what to brand me. I said, will that hurt?
I don't know. Well, my feeling is you should be Suz.
Like Prince? Like Cher?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why not?
Seems like, I don't know. That's an entertainer.
Like Beyonce. I mean,
That's true.
One word names.
Well, I can't use Terzuola because nobody can spell it.
Right.
Nobody can say it.
Exactly.
Right. And on my real name, I prefer not to use, if possible, my real last name.
So just be Suz.
Suz, the knife wife.
Funny Suz.
Funny Suz.
I'll be Fun Bobby.
Oh my gosh. So I've been calling my husband Fun Bobby since the pandemic. We'd never watched Friends or any sitcoms. One, because I was always working on shows, but two, I don't know, laugh tracks I never liked. But we started watching Friends, and so who dated Fun Bobby? Jennifer Aniston dated Fun Bobby.
She dated him. I don't remember who played the part.
Or maybe it was, I don't know who Phoebe did. I don't know who dated. It was Monica who dated Fun Bobby. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mateo. Anyway, and so somehow that made me just laugh to call you Fun Bobby.
I know.
And so I started referring.
I make a lot of people laugh like that.
And I started referring to you on my social media as Fun. Today, Fun Bobby did this. Today, Fun Bobby did that. And maybe that's who I'll refer to you in my stand-up, as Fun Bobby.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I was just listening to an old-time storyteller comedian. She's wonderful. She was Miss North Carolina. I am not Miss North Carolina. and she called her husband Left Brain. And Leon Morgan calls her husband Chuck Morgan, always by both names. And your last name is too hard to say, but Fun Bobby kind of has a nice ring to it. So, and because, I'm the fun one in the relationship, and you're the one who's counting, the dollars and getting everything lined up and do the taxes and the paperwork, things that I'm not good at. Because if we both were like me, we'd be homeless by Tuesday.
I know. Maybe I should start marking my blades Fun Bobby. What do you think?
Or maybe we'll do a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Because, I produce all the T-shirts
Bobby.
On this Wednesday. You don't know this, but we have interviews for our merch czar because I'm going to step off from that role and have someone else run all the merch. And people will be happy. There'll be much more merch soon. So, because I can't do it all. Anyway, so do you have any more questions you want to ask me before we wrap this puppy up?
I think we got most of them. You said the Blade Show in June. You're going to be going to Marietta.
Yep.
And talking to, who is this? Honest Fox Media. Who are they?
All right,
what do they do?
Leanne Morgan. They do a whole bunch of really successful comedians. And I had to kind of interview with them a bit. I had to go through a few tiers, and they're going to give me a whirl. And we'll see how I do. If they can, I'm going to have a TikTok. I got to have to do that dance I keep talking about. I got to think of a TikTok dance.
You better practice.
I don't have any dance.
Maybe with your new knee, you'll be able to do a TikTok
there we go.
dance.
The nano knee. Yeah, the nano knee. It sounds like something you buy on Home Shopping Network. I can't get over the name of that. So anyway, that'll be in December, and then I'll be up and running and driving everybody nuts. Right now, I'm kind of sedentary and kind of quiet for a change. So it's given me time though to write comedy. I keep a notebook with me all the time, and I find a lot of things really funny. And
you'll be doing more patterns and that type of work. I will be doing more
patterns. I'll be recouping and sitting so I can sit at the computer and work on Illustrator, because I learned Illustrator at 68 years old. I had a wonderful teacher who taught me Illustrator, and people said, "You'll never learn that. You don't have enough time to learn Illustrator." Well, I did.
You did.
And
did a very good job.
Thank you. I can't say it's my favorite thing to do art on a computer. I'm a master printmaker. I still love to make a plate. I love the smell of ink. I love getting dirty. I do. I like to garden. I like to cook. I like to do, everything that gets dirty, and then you have to clean everything up. I don't know. That's my heritage.
Yep. And you're very good at it too.
Well, thank you. I try to do as little of both of those as possible. I kind of have kitchen amnesia many days. I go, what did I make? I've been cooking for 60 years. What did I make last week? I can't remember. And then the garden, I've really scaled back on that. And I have things planted that just grow all year. And I'm trying to get things that in California don't need to be trimmed, because here everything grows like mad if it does well. And then it gets, it's like a little shop of horrors. It takes over. So
we're looking forward to an exciting year, filled, lots of things to do.
Jam-packed and fun-filled, because, since I put reality on the back burner, my life has been jam-packed and fun-filled.
So everybody stay tuned. We really appreciate you listening to the podcast. We have people listening and sending in questions and comments and all sorts of nice things are going on with this podcast. So we
when
really
we started
enjoy
this
being
podcast, here. I never thought anyone would listen to it, and apparently
we've got quite a few listeners.
Yeah,
and it's growing.
It is.
Okay, so thank you for being here, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Fun Bobby.
Thank you, Miss Suz, the comedian.
Not yet. All right.
On the way.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
For watching. Bye.